What is good, you guys? Victor with PhoneArena here, and today we're comparing two of the most hyped Android phones out there, and both are made by Samsung. Last year's Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge was one of the most popular devices out there, and this year we have its successor, the even larger 6.2-inch Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus. Now the Plus does one thing right. It removes the extra bezel and it features a new aspect ratio. It's now a taller phone with a taller display, and that also means that it has its fingerprint on the back, which is very hard to reach because this phone is pretty big. And if you don't have an absolutely huge hand, you have to stretch a lot to reach that fingerprint scanner. You can reach it, it's doable of course, but it takes some effort, and it's definitely a weird decision by Samsung. But the big star of the show is the screen. The new screen is taller, it's a lot taller, but the display, the phone itself is not much bigger than the S7 Edge. So how is this possible? A 5.5-inch phone like the S7 Edge and a 6.2-inch phone like the S8 Plus. Now, it's possible because of different aspect ratio. The new phone features a 18.5 by 9, a taller display that you can see that it offers more screen space towards the top, but the width of the two displays is the same. And in terms of colors, both these phones feature AMOLED displays with excellent color reproduction. We have different color modes. The default one is adaptive display, which shows vibrant colors that are not super accurate, but they look very good. And if you want that accuracy, you can go into settings display and choose the basic screen mode, which gives you a little bit more toned down colors that are more accurate though, and we recommend you check this out as well. Now, what else do we have on these two phones? Except for the display, and you can see a little bit of that letterboxing here as we roll the images in terms of image quality. Now, except for this beautiful display, we have different interfaces. Now the S8 Plus features Android 7.1 Nougat, and it features a very clean and very modern looking skin on top of it, and looks good for the first time. Maybe for the first time we see Samsung really step up its game in terms of design. It's still not there in terms of perfect smoothness of the performance. You can see a little bit of a stutter, which is disappointing, but you can also see a lot of things done right. You can see a very much cleaner menu. You can see the home screen is devoid of any extra icons. Everything is very smooth, very clean. The settings and all of that are identical on the S7 Edge and the S8 Plus, and they are now more organized. Everything is easier to find. You can search in settings, you can search your whole phone. You can even choose to have an app drawer or not, similar to an iPhone. You have different options. Samsung definitely gives you a ton of options. You also have the Edge display functionality on both phones, and it works similarly well. We'd say it's even a little bit better on the S8 Plus, which allows you to bring that menu a little bit quicker and more conveniently. In terms of multitasking, now both phones are updated to Android Nougat, and both phones feature native split screen multitasking, but it doesn't seem to work perfectly well in some applications. In most it will work well, but not in all of them. Now the difference between these two is, of course, in terms of the performance, in terms of the chip that's on the inside. The new S8 Plus features the Snapdragon 835 system chip that is great for gaming. It might not be perfect for daily performance, but for gaming you get very high frame rates, and games tend to run very well, and this phone is definitely future proof with this kind of specifications. Next up, another thing that's hugely important in a phone is the camera, and Samsung has been making some great cameras in the past couple years. Now the S7 Edge set a high standard with its dual pixel autofocus camera. Of course, we have the same technology here on the S8 Plus, but in addition to that, Samsung has also tweaked the software and the algorithms of the camera, which might sound complicated, but in reality it means that you get less of that artificial over sharpening effect that we had in the S7 Edge, and images look a little bit better. Now it's still not completely gone, it's not perfect, but images definitely look very good on the S8 Plus. It's better tuned to low light photography, but also you can see the detail in the picture is very clean across the whole frame, which is definitely impressive. and you can see some low light shots right here. Color reproduction is pretty spot on. The camera app has been reworked. It's now cleaner, easier to use. And while the phone is not among the highest levels available, but you can definitely see here the saturation of the image on the S7 Edge is so much higher, and the image on the S8 Plus is more natural looking, more balanced, more refined. So as we were saying, the S8 Plus is not up there with the Google Pixel, it's just a notch behind, but it's definitely one of the best, most capable cameras out there, top 3. Let's look at the video sample. Guys, Victor with PhoneArena here, and today we're testing the camera on the Galaxy S8. We have a 12 megapixel camera here. We're testing the video capabilities, recording in 4K resolution. So let's first move the camera down and then go up. Now this test up to the sky to see if how it handles different exposure, different lighting conditions. Guys, Victor with PhoneArena here, testing the video camera on the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. We have a 12 megapixel camera, and we'll use this footage for different comparisons to see what the camera is capable of. So first thing that we'll do is move the camera down and then go up. Now this test how the camera adjusts different light. You can see that it's much lighter up there, it's darker down there. You just saw 4K video sample on both phones, and you can tell that the S8 Plus has improved slightly but noticeably. Now in other terms, we have call quality, no issues with call quality on either phone. We have battery life. This has improved with the S8 Plus. We can't tell the exact number because battery testing is such a complicated issue, but we'd say that 10 to 20%, something like that. You can easily get a full day on both phones, but the S8 Plus definitely lasts longer. And in our case, we actually averaged around 2 days on the S8 Plus, which is a great result. And of course it's a big phone, so it has a big battery as well. So at the end of the day, should you upgrade, should you get the S8 Plus over the S7 Edge? Now you have one important reason to do so, and this is the display. It's gorgeous, the phone is stylish, but there is also a considerable price difference. And if you don't really want to pay a lot more for a new phone, the S7 Edge is still perfectly fine. But if you're all about that shiny new look, the S8 Plus should definitely be on your top list of priorities. Thanks for watching.